Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the EEARSS Podcast, produced by Terrier TV here at Titusville High School. I am Frank. That is Bill. That is Cindy. Howdy. How y'all doing?
Hey, Frank. You seem a little flushed there.
I'm cracking up because I had a terrier thrown at me last second before we started.
You had one thrown at you.
Yeah,
you had one returned to you.
I tossed, and then I had one like fastball thrown at me. Well, maybe, okay, let's say it was a changeup, then I had a fastball thrown back.
If you toss something at somebody who's not expecting
Who's not looking.
it doesn't matter the
she was
speed.
looking. You were looking.
I was not looking at
For
you.
that.
I was like,
She was in that general direction, but, you know.
he's
Getting
so
in the
innocent
zone.
looking. He's so innocent looking. Like, how could you be worried about that?
Yes. It's supposed to be a terrier. Looks like a Shar-Pei.
Huh. He does have extra wrinkles.
He does.
French bulldog.
There you
Ooh.
go. Could be that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
There we go.
I've got the terrier bark down pretty well.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I do. I announced the Titusville High School football
From
game.
the football
really?
games.
So
Okay.
yeah, I've got the terrier bark down pretty well. But
Okay.
we'll
I feel like you're asking
do we hear
us
it?
to-
Yo,
yeah.
you want-
Let's hear it. Go ahead.
You actually did do that very well.
Yeah,
You
it's
see,
not
baby?
I
bad.
am actually very impressed.
And then, okay, so now give us an alligator.
That's terrifying.
So
That
kids,
that
take
was- yeah.
take your
Yeah.
computer out in the backyard and play that sound.
Oh dear Lord, Bill!
Don't-
Don't say things like that.
and then see what happens.
I am not responsible.
have-
Nobody in this podcast is responsible for anything that happens with you if you do
This great story, Frank. Frank was a student of mine in high school way back, and we had gone to Tampa, I think, to a convention, Florida Scholastic Press Association. We had gone to a convention there, and we were walking from the hotel to one of the sites or something, and there was a big retention pond.
that. Irritation area.
And Frank starts making the gator sounds because there was a gator across the way, and he starts making the sounds, and the gator gets into the water and starts swimming toward us. And I'm like, Frank, what did you do? And he said, don't worry, Mr. Curtis. He'll get about 20 feet away from us and realize that we're not what he thinks we are, and he'll leave. And sure enough, he gets to us right there, and then looks and like, you're not what I thought. Turns around and leaves. And so since then, I knew Frank was destined to work with alligators.
That has to be one of the most stressful moments as a teacher on a field trip.
Frank,
No,
Frank, you're
no.
bringing alligators toward us. Do you know how much paperwork is involved if that happens? You can't do that kind of stuff. But that was in like 1998.
Yeah, I remember
Somewhere in there.
was it Mr. Coventry that was here?
Mr. Coveney.
Yeah, I used to bring rat snakes in my jacket to school and all kinds of.
Uh-huh.
I put them in my pockets, bring them to school, all kinds of weird stuff. Yeah.
You're making yourself sound a little bit like a nightmare.
Well, I mean, no, I was.
No, he wasn't.
I was a
No,
good
he was a
student.
good kid.
I never had a detention. I never had any kind of problems at all. I mean, I was
he
that
never
guy.
misbehaved.
I was not the troublemaker.
But
Nobody knew I had those
but he
things in my
was-
pockets.
But he was not the most normal child either. We had
Really?
that.
That
Everybody,
surprises me
everybody
so
knew
greatly.
that Frank was a little off.
Wow.
You knew that. Frank,
Did I
come
know
on.
that? I don't know that I knew
Frank
that.
was the first
Now I
one
do.
to videotape sports for Terrier TV.
I was.
And
Oh Lord, are you gonna go there, Bill?
no, I'm not. I'm not going to, because that just not that story. But he would edit it all together and do highlights of football games.
Yeah, it was
and
when it was VHS. I remember
VHS. Yeah,
putting a couple of students. We helped get them college scholarships.
yeah. You did
that was
reels.
before it was even a thing. Yeah,
Wow.
I
He
mean, it
did
was-
reels for athletes so they could send them to coaches and show them playing.
Yeah, that was fun times.
Yeah,
Fun
yeah.
memories. All right, you ready to jump into it, guys?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, since we're done making weird sounds and
Okay.
harassing Frank.
I didn't
Harassing.
commit to that.
Yes. No.
I didn't say I was done harassing Frank.
No, you should never be done. I'm not telling you to stop. Just
harass him.
maybe give me 30 seconds to introduce
Okay.
our guest, and then you go back to harassing.
I can do that.
Okay, so today on the podcast, we are blessed to be joined by Titusville City Council Member Megan Moscoso.
Very good.
Did I get it right?
You did.
Yes, I feel amazing.
Wow. I'm
Uh-oh.
very impressed.
Uh-oh. I owe some people some
You
money.
should be. Yeah, you
Yeah,
should be
It's
very
a tough
impressed.
one.
Megan, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. I really appreciate it. I know you have a crazy schedule like any of us have, and it really means a lot that you took the time to be here. So thank you. Tell us a little bit about your journey. What brought you to wanting to be a Titusville City Council person?
Person works.
Person,
yeah.
okay.
Yes.
And I know you have a you and your husband have a very faith-driven background. So kind of just walk us through a little bit of your journey, how you guys ended up here in Titusville and
Sure.
all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I'm not from Titusville. I'm from North Florida. And I'm from a little town outside of Tallahassee called Havana, Florida. And we were known for Havana for shade tobacco. So we have 2 flashing lights. Do you know Havana?
Oh, no. When I went to Florida State, I had a 2-seater convertible car. And one of my favorite things to do was to drive out on a night with the top down and go all the way up 27 to Havana, to the flashing light, to the flashing yellow light
about the flashing
in downtown,
yellow light.
and be there and then drive back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just make a trip out to Havana and then tell my friends, oh yeah, I was in Havana.
Yeah, I mean, it was the place to be.
The place to be. It was, and it was seriously 1 block. I mean,
It still is.
yeah. Is it still?
Yeah, we had
Wow.
we don't really have a lot of fast food. We have this, you won't believe this, but we had this one restaurant, and it was called Rick's Chicken Coop. And you actually ate outside like you were in a chicken coop.
No way.
Yeah, and it's changed a lot, but that was like my favorite restaurant that was there. Like you would drive by on 27 and you see people outside with chicken wire around them just eating, and that was just that's just normal. So when we moved to Titusville, we had moved over from Orlando. Someone said, "Well, it's a really small town." I'm like, "But wait,
Yeah.
no. Do you have a Rick's Chicken Coop?"
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm from up there.
Okay.
And then, and so I grew up, born and raised here in Florida, and went to University of Central Florida. And then I took a year off and went to Texas, and I went to a Bible college there, not for intentions of being holy, but because my parents were like, you need to clean up your life and go. And so I went there, and it changed my life. My faith grew, and I met my husband there, who was wanting to be a pastor. And it's funny because I'm like the complete opposite of a pastor's wife. And so I just thought, oh, this will be interesting. And we ended up, falling in love. And he's from Guatemala originally. His whole family's actually still there. So after college, we went to Guatemala. We actually ended up getting married there, but I worked there for a few years as a teacher. And I loved it. I fell in love with the country, and it was just so different. The people were so kind. And so we were there for a while, and then he got a position in Malaysia. I had never even really heard about Malaysia or knew anything about it. And we were young. We didn't have kids. We didn't really even own anything. So at this point, he's like, "Do you want to go to Malaysia?" I'm like, sure.
Why not?
So we packed our suitcases, and we went to Malaysia, and we were there for 3 years. And we loved it. It's probably my favorite country in the entire world. It's just absolutely amazing. It's super diverse. The people are diverse. You've got all different types of people. It's a Muslim country, but then you've got all different types of food, and it's just incredible. And so we lived there for a while, and we got to do a lot of traveling, and we worked at an international church. And so what I loved about our church there was it was people from all over the world. So you had people in the oil industry, and then you had refugees. You had people from all different walks of life. And so that was just absolutely amazing to form a lot of those friendships and those connections. And then we ended up from there moving to Orlando. My husband got his citizenship, and our family, we started off kind of settling down in Orlando. And then while we were there, we bought our first house. And my husband had a friend who was a pastor here in Titusville, and he said, "Why don't you come visit our church and preach at our church?" And my husband came over, and he was like, "I love it." And I was like, well no, we're
we
settled.
Need to pick one place.
Yeah, I'm like, we've moved so much, we're finally settled. And he's like, "Just come over with me." And we fell in love with the church and the people. And so we ended up moving here, and it's been a great experience. At first I was like, wow, but I love it. My mom actually grew up here on Merritt Island. My grandparents worked at Kennedy Space Center. So I always heard stories about Indian River Lagoon, and my grandfather used to fish off of, Haulover Canal, and they used to go shrimping and all of these things. So it's really neat to come and actually live here after hearing stories from all of my relatives about this magical place. And it definitely is magical.
It is. Yeah, we have a pretty awesome place we live in.
Yeah.
So, when you moved to Titusville and your husband started preaching here, what made you think about getting into the political world? What made you make that jump?
Yeah. So we bought a house over in Royal Oak, and then there was a development that was by our house. And so, we had a lot of questions about it. I went to the city and asked these questions, and I just felt like I wasn't getting a lot of answers. And so I started attending meetings, and I just got hooked. Like, it was the weirdest thing. My husband's like, first it was just watching them. And he's like, why are you spending 4 hours? And then I started going to them, and you start hearing about all the different issues going on in the city. And especially at that point, there was a lot of environmental issues that were being brought up and things I hadn't really heard about. And so you start meeting these people, and it just became fascinating, and I got super interested in it. So there was a position on one of the boards, planning and zoning, that came up. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to apply. Like, it was just the most non-professional thing ever. I literally did it, I think, in pencil. Like, I just didn't know. I was just like, this seems neat. Let's just try. No idea what I was doing. And so I applied, and I got approved, and I got accepted. So I sat on that board for a while. And then from there, I started seeing a lot of the development and things coming in. And it was just really eye-opening to see how things worked, how things got approved. And so that's from there, I decided, well, I realized, like, we were just an advisory board, and really we could make suggestions, but we couldn't really do much. And the only way to do that was actually to be on city council. So I just decided, like, hey, I'm going to run for city council. Like, I look back, I'm like, what was I thinking? Yeah.
So now, when you came home and you told your husband this news, what was his reaction?
He just knows enough not to be like,
he's like, oh, okay, we understand. It's Megan.
Yeah. So it's probably not the craziest thing I've done.
Okay.
Sure, sweetie. Where do we get signs from?
I realize I have to do things like immediately, or I'll start thinking about it. So, I mean, isn't that what you want in a city council member? Just like, don't think, just do it, right?
Yeah, okay, we got to make stuff happen. It's time.
Yeah. And so I put in, and once I put in, it was immediate, like, buyer's remorse. I'm like,
oh no, what have I done? This is real.
How do I get money? And like, what do I, like,
Oh,
what do
yeah.
I do? How does this work?
How do I convince people to vote for me?
Yeah. It's so, that was like the fun part, is just like, you learn to campaign, you meet a lot of great people. And so that was really, really fun. And you kind of just get to figure out how to do it your own way. So I really enjoyed that. I tell people, I'm like, not everybody who runs for council, and this sounds bad on me, is like possibly qualified. I think they're just really good campaigners. You have to be a good campaigner, because you can have somebody who's got a really good ideas, but if they don't know how to campaign and to sell themselves, they might not get there. And so that's a big part of it too. And so for me, that was humbling, but also scary to realize,
Yes.
oh wow, you guys are just great campaigners.
Yes.
So yeah, that's kind of how I ended up on city council.
So growing up, my mom used to tell me a couple of things. Mom used to always say that there's 2 hardest jobs in the world. One is being a mom. The second hardest job in the world is being a pastor's wife. My mom's told me that since I was a little kid. How do you handle being, okay, let me rephrase this. Being a pastor's wife, and I mean, having that responsibility, what kind of role did that bring to you in the city council? It's got to give you a whole different way of looking at things, and in your face, got to give you a whole different way of approaching people, and just issues they might have, things of that nature.
Yeah, I think being a pastor's wife prepared me for city council, because you have to grow a thick skin. People are consistently criticizing my husband as well, and it's just, you just learn to. I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay, you are also created in God's image. And I, a lot of times when we're in a city meeting and someone's up there upset, like, I try to use that time, not all the time, to pray, just because it's just, what else can I do at this point except pray for what they're going through. We might not be able to solve it. And so I think just, I was lucky enough to have the experience of being on the other side of of the city, not the other side of the city, but as just a resident and going up before the city and saying, hey, what about this? And like, I have been through the process on the other end. And I think that really helped me, because I realize a lot of times people are just frustrated, and they maybe have sent emails or made phone calls and haven't gotten anywhere. And people just want to be listened to.
Yep.
I wanted to be
People
listened
want
to.
to be heard.
Like, that was my whole thing of one of the reasons I ran, is I really felt like I wasn't heard. And I had one council member, and I was super thankful. She actually met with me, and that like was amazing. I was like, oh, like, you actually responded to my email and you meet with me. So that is something I try to do is, we set policy, but more than anything, I try to just meet with people. And, if people have any issue, like today I got a call about stormwater. There's one about somebody wanting, on South Street, wanting a road paved. Well, that's not really us, but maybe we can find a connection, or, people just want to be heard and say, like, I do acknowledge there's a big pothole. Maybe we should fix it, instead of like maybe ignoring the issue. So I hope that's what I can bring to the city, is being a listening ear, even if I can't solve all the problems. That's my goal.
And what has it been like for you since you've been on, compared to what you thought it might be versus what it is?
I have way less power. Yeah, it's been great. I love that I get to help people. So often I'm consistently like, I don't know the answer, but like, hey, come down to City Hall with me and we're going to sit with all the experts. And so I do that quite often. And there's some things people think we have control over, and we really don't. But then why would people know that? I knew nothing really about local government and what they were, what they could do and what they couldn't do before I just started going to these meetings. And so, I think it's our job too, as council members, to educate people and say, like, I understand you're frustrated with this development outside of your house, but we didn't choose to put a storage unit there. I don't want it there either, but they bought the property, and that was the zoning. And unfortunately, we can try to make it better, but there's really not much we can do at that point. So that's been the part, because you run and you're like, oh yeah, when I get in there,
I'm gonna change everything.
We're gonna just like rip up the ground and improve all the infrastructure, and then you're like, oh yeah, like millions and billions of dollars, and also we don't want to tax you either. Right. So yeah, you got to work in your limitations, and you learn that quickly. Yeah.
As someone who's sat in on a couple of different city council meetings now, I can tell you that your kindness and your humbleness and just the way you present yourself and you handle yourself, you are a glowing light of your faith, and you're just the way you just you being you. So thank you for all you do. It's pretty awesome to watch.
Thank you. You caught me probably on some good nights.
Well, I think it's a credit to you, and it's a combination of who you and your husband are, and just all the places you guys have traveled to, and your faith, and just it's all of it. It all goes into making us each who they are. I think people underestimate sometimes the impact that travel alone
absolutely
can have on your life. Before I started doing a lot of traveling, I didn't know what I knew until you're a fish out of water somewhere, and you understand what other people are dealing with and the struggles they have in different countries, and you really understand how special what we have here is.
Absolutely.
It builds your faith, it builds your compassion to other people around the world, and I think it changes you in a good way.
And like when I moved to Guatemala, I was just so stuck in my ways. Well, this is how we do it. And like, why are you doing it this way? And like, it'd be better if you did it this way. And God broke me of that pretty early on. But it's still like a struggle of just, it just comes out a lot more, I think, when you're traveling, because it just hits you in the face of how different their life is compared to maybe how yours was. And so there's a lot of like compromise and like, okay, this is just maybe how we have to go about it.
I think it's different too when you're living there. You're not just visiting.
Yeah.
So it's not just a short-term thing. You're in it, and it's harder to ignore, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, Americanism really comes out. You're like, oh, that's really good. Or like, oh, wow. Like, I don't need to be there on the exact, like everybody's showing up an hour late. Maybe this is okay if I let loose a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
Your job must be quite demanding, I would imagine, from the city council side. What's a typical week in your life look like these days? I mean, how many hours do you think this incorporates your life on an average day or week? It's got to be a lot.
So it just depends on what we have going on. Like some weeks, a lot of it's at night. So like next week I'm a part of a group called Space Coast League of Cities. And so we are different elected officials on the Space Coast, and we get together. And so because of the sunshine law here in Florida, I can't talk to my council members about certain things, because if it comes up before us, it's a violation. But I can talk to somebody down in Palm Bay or a different city. So when we have something coming before us, for example, like block cameras or anything else, maybe another city has gone through, I can contact them and say, how's that working out for you? Or a lot of times my husband's like, what are you doing? And I'm like watching a council meeting from Melbourne, or you just kind of get addicted to it. But then you see how things are going and what's working well and what citizens are having issues with, because, we're not that far away. And so a lot of it's very similar.
You're doing your homework, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I do. I probably, when we have an agenda that comes out, so we have our meetings on Tuesday, I probably spend like 12 hours going through it, which I'm sure is crazy. But the more I learn, the more I'm like, I don't know. Like, I've learned so much about wells and infrastructure, and like, it's just, I have so much more to learn. And everything you learn, you're like, oh, there's more. And so I take a lot of time, and then we meet with our staff, and the staff goes over things with us as well, which is really helpful. They're kind of the experts on things, and they'll answer the questions. Sometimes I agree with it. Sometimes I'm like, I'm not buying it. Yeah. But try again.
Yeah, there's so many little details too. I sit in the Planning and Developmental Board in Port St. John.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, you have some of these packets of people who are looking to do things that they come to you and you go, this is gonna be a minute. If I'm gonna read all this, it's gonna be a minute. Yeah. And there's so many things you go, okay, I gotta look up what that means. I don't know what that means, and I can't imagine on your position, it's got to be so much more than that. It's got to be so much deeper than that.
Well, it was great that I was on planning and zoning, because that gave me like a really good understanding, because we were only looking at development. And so I felt like I really got to understand our comprehensive plan and really understand those terms. And then we added the other layer now of just everything else. So that was, I think it would be really hard if I had just gotten on city council and not had that experience. But that was, I'm really thankful that I was able to serve on that board.
If you were to go back and do it all again, would you still do it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been really fun. I actually have to do it again pretty soon. So.
Yeah. What are projects or things that are on the horizon for the city that are exciting you right now, or giving you that hope or motivation to keep doing that and to keep going year after year?
Well, I think we've got a lot of things that maybe aren't exciting me, but I think that they need another voice. So we've got, there's an application for a bleach processing plant that's trying to annex into the city. And so, I
know about that one.
Yeah, so that one is one. And what has been really cool is to see how the community has just mobilized. That's what I love, is when you see people who haven't had, like, they haven't been involved in local government. Now they're showing up. They're asking questions. They're like, how does this work? What's the most effective way? And I love that, because that was me. That still is me, of like figuring it out. So that's really cool to see, like, people just, and then like you go into the council chambers and you're like, how does this work? Like, do I just get up and stand, or do I have to fill out a card?
Do I do?
And like, it's just, it's walking into a whole nother world with a whole nother language. And I love watching people figure it out, and then being really good advocates for what they believe in. So that's one. There's another one, the Royal Oak Golf Course. That's a possible redevelopment that's coming up. That's kind of controversial. So
I was wondering what was going on with that. I hadn't heard about that one in a minute.
Yeah, they keep pushing back the dates, and so it's been kind of confusing for the community. And the plan keeps changing. So we'll see what happens with that. It'll be interesting. It's going to bring out a lot of people in red shirts. They've got red shirts.
Oh, they have red shirts?
They have red shirts. That's one of the things you learn, is when you have like a group.
Get to know the colors.
Yeah. Well, somebody told me we were like trying to kind of opposing a development by my house. They're like, you got to pick a color. Well, blue.
Right.
So like everyone
Like, oh no.
everyone wear blue. Like it was just like, what else do we do?
Right.
So we all
What are
showed
the
up
rules?
we showed up in blue. We're like, this is what you do apparently.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well, it's easy to see how many people are backing you. You know,
it
you
is.
Just,
I mean, it's effective.
yeah.
So
Does it help when people see things like that?
I personally think when the room gets packed, it puts the pressure on because then
Yeah.
you're like, you have people watching. And so when people are also videotaping and putting it online, I think it's great because I'm like, you get to see what's
Yes.
happening. I think it's super important. If not, nobody's like going on YouTube and watching this. So I think it's super important. We have had, and this has been interesting, like developers, they'll come and put like mics right on your table. So for the whole meeting. And so like then you feel, and then they're like typing up what you're saying because, you know, if there ends up being a lawsuit, they can use what you say. And that for me is just like,
Pressure.
yeah, because you're like, okay, not that I was going to say anything weird, but now I feel like I might.
What do
because
I
you
do
put this
now?
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of let something drop.
Yeah.
If there's people out there that want to be an advocate for something one way or the other, what are some suggestions you might have to them for ways to approach the city
Yeah, I would
or
say.
their local government in general?
I would say reach out to each council member. Now they might respond, they might not, but that's a good indicator right there. And then talk to them about it, and start listening to the meetings or showing up to them. If you show up to those meetings, typically you'll find someone who's also on the same wavelength as you regarding that issue, if it's environmental or development or biking, something. There's always somebody there. And so you do meet a lot of really great people that are passionate about, I mean, we have some residents, I feel like they know more than half of our council. They like, because they've got like the history from years and years and years. So sometimes when I'll say, what is the history of this? They'll give me all the documents. And I'm like, oh, thanks. I didn't know that. And it's so helpful. So
My next question. Cindy's cracking up at me.
You looked very deep in thought over this.
Oh,
No.
I did. I was very deep in thought of it. So there's young people out there that want to get into the world of politics. What are some suggestions you might have of ways they can approach that and get into it? I know for you personally, you weren't really looking for it. It kind of found you.
Happy
Yeah.
accident.
If somebody's out there actually looking to jump into it, what are your suggestions?
I mean, I think the best politicians are the ones who don't want to be politicians.
No doubt.
But now
so-
the city has all kinds of advisory boards
Yeah,
that are always looking for people.
absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point.
And yeah, I think that's a great play. If you're interested in doing anything with the city, you get on an advisory and that gets you in, you see things, you understand the needs, you understand issues. And
Absolutely.
the city needs that.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
need people that are willing to do that.
And a diverse group of people. That's what I found interesting, is that some of the boards almost felt like stacked in a sense, like they were the same types of people. And so it's really good. Like, we don't have power to say, like, I want you and you
Yeah.
and you. It has to be voted on by a group, but sometimes not many people know about what positions
The
are
pool's
open.
not very deep.
It's not very deep, and so then it's just kind of word of mouth, and that's where I think I can do a better job too of saying, hey, this is open, these are the positions, this is what it requires, so people are actually aware. Because then you have people who are on boards for a long time, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's nobody else is maybe applying, but it's really great to have all types of people, different ideas, different perspectives.
Sure.
Yeah,
and
a
it
solid team has to be built on that.
Yeah, and just represents a diversity of our city is important. That's a great point. Advisory boards. Also, if you're younger, we have something called Mock City Council, which is really fun. So then students get to like follow a council member, or they can follow the city attorney or one of the planners, or like there's just so many different positions that they get to do, and they actually do it for like a semester. And then at the end, they actually have a mock city council, and we all go and kind of watch it, and they actually discuss a real issue that we have discussed.
How cool
I
is that?
love that. How do young people get signed up for that?
So THS has it. Astronaut has it. I'll have to find who the
That's
contact
cool.
is. But it's really neat. So it's funny. The girl who picked me, I was like, so why did you pick me? She's like, you were the last one left.
Oh, man.
But like,
Ouch.
Lord.
Teenagers,
I know.
they don't care.
But I love
they'll
her.
say it. If they think it, they'll say it.
I absolutely
Good,
love
and
her.
good for her. Yeah.
I know. I was like, you're going to pick me next time, right? She's
Yeah.
like, yeah. I'm like, all
Aw.
right. I'll do it first.
That's where it's at.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not a student anymore, but I kind of want to do
know.
that. Let's me and you follow somebody. That sounds pretty fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I had no idea there were things like that going on. That's good. Should
Mhm.
be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing. Megan, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Yeah,
This has
thank
been
you so
awesome.
much.
And thank you so much for all you do for our city. And yeah, I just humbled to have you here. So thank
I
you.
appreciate it. My pleasure.
Bill, Cindy,
Yes, sir.
I think this will be episode 168.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, that's a couple.
That's a few.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
few.
We're getting up there. I still can't believe we started doing this 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. It's been, because we started in January.
Yeah, it's been 5
It's
years.
been 5 years. Wow.
It's crazy.
Has it really?
Yeah, 5
yeah,
years.
Maddie was a freshman. And now she's a freshman in
Oh.
college.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been
Okay.
blessed to have some pretty awesome people. Wanted to mention too, another friend of mine from Chicago that was actually in Second City with George Wendt passed away.
Right.
Yeah, a guy named Pat Finn. He was
Oh,
on the
okay.
George Wendt show with George Wendt back in the day too, so
Oh,
it was a whole
wow.
thing. But yep, it is what it is, I reckon.
Oh,
But
goodness.
another faith-driven guy.
Okay.
Yep. So anyhow, guys, I hope you have an awesome afternoon. Megan,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you again so
Thank
much.
you.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in to the EEARSS podcast produced by Terrier TV here at Titusville High School. If you'd like to learn more about EEARSS, the longest acronym on the planet, go over to EEARSS.org. It's ears with an extra E and an extra S. Or go to Alligator Robb with 2 B's. It's my last name, not my first name, .com. Learn more about the research we're doing, things we're working on, and enjoy it. It's some pretty cool science. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you all next week. Bye-bye.